Golden State Media Concepts social media podcast. Time to hashtag everything. We talk about all the fun, crazy stories on social media. From Instagram to Facebook, Twitter to Tumblr, or probably even Friendster. Join us each week as we explore the quirky side of social media. It's the Golden State Media Concepts social media podcast.
It's simple, such a sad song. The one that we rely on to get us to.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host Heidi, and on today's social media news, we are talking about some fun stories. A lot of them actually have to do with Twitter, which was interesting because I just got to read a bunch of Twitter comments. But I want to start off with one that is cute. And this is still kind of related to Christmas. I feel like just Christmas stories just don't die. Like, they just keep coming up on my news feeds and whatnot. So I will be talking about another Christmas story. I hope that doesn't bore all of you. If it does, I'm sorry. I'm still going to do it. You can't stop me. So I hope that this can be something that is, a little bit uplifting or hopeful at least. Something that makes you feel good about, I don't know. You can relive the Christmas spirit, maybe, as we're starting off 2019. All right, so the first story. This is about a Major League Baseball prospect who has paid off his parents' debt for Christmas, which is, again, that's adorable. Just another Christmas story. I mean, someone should just call Hallmark. Anyway, so what happened is this baseball player, he really felt like his entire life his parents had just basically bankrolled his dream of becoming a pro baseball player. This player is Brady Singer, and he is a Kansas City Royals pitching prospect, and he has paid off his parents in a really big way for Christmas. So again, he just felt like they supported him through so much, through all of his, I'm sure, just driving him to all of his lessons for baseball, all of his games. And so what he did is he wiped out the debt that his mom and dad had accumulated over the years, and he wrote a letter to his parents telling them, this is a quote, "There's absolutely no way I could have done all this by myself. Both of you constantly took off of work and spent every dime you made just to put a smile on my face. My smile and appreciation for both of you has never stopped, and it never will." How cute is that? That is adorable. That just, that brings a smile to my face. He's been smiling forever. It makes me smile. And also, what a good son. That's really cute. I feel like you could just get your first big paycheck, working so hard. Everyone tells you you deserve it because you've made it. And then you just, I don't know, like buy a car or something just to inflate my stereotypes of pro sports players. But he's not like that. He spent it on his parents. I think that's super adorable. And the story continues that not only did he pay a loan from the bank, he also wiped out their other debts using his signing bonus. And he was drafted by the Royals as the 18th overall pick in the first round, and he received a $4.25 million signing bonus. That is crazy. If you can really make it in there, you get a lot of money. That's just his signing bonus. He played for the University of Florida, where he won the 2018 Dick Howser Trophy, which is awarded for college baseball's top player. He has also been named the SEC Pitcher of the Year and was 11-1 with a 2.27 ERA and 98 strikeouts in his first 41 starts. So he sounds good. I mean, what am I saying? He sounds good. I don't even know. I'm assuming he's good. He got picked. I'm not even going to lie about that. Sorry, everyone. But I'm no matter how well he plays baseball, or no matter what I know or don't know about baseball, that is really adorable. And his parents, I'm sure, are just super proud. I'm sure they were already proud of his baseball career, but now they're probably even more proud of his character. So congratulations to him on getting signed. Congratulations to the Royals for getting a great player who's not just a good pitcher, but also seemingly a man of honor. And I'm happy for his parents that that debt can get erased, because I know that debt can be such a burden. If anyone out there, comes across like $4.25 million and wants to like pay off my student loans or something, it'll just be a drop in the bucket to you, really. I mean, it's not that bad, but I feel it, just a humble podcast host. But if anyone out there just wants to, throw in a couple thousand, I wouldn't mind. I'd be happy with that. Just putting that out there. You know where to find me. GSMC Podcast Network coming out there. So that was a really uplifting story. And now I'm ready to bring you all back down, just crashing back down with the next story. This is about Kendall Jenner, because basically this should be the social media podcast with the Jenners, or with the Jenners, with the Kardashians, with all of them, with all of the Kardashians, because they always come up into social media. The Kardashians, the Jenners, the Wests. Man, if you want to detox from social media, you will hear a lot less about the Kardashians, I can tell you that. This is particularly about Kendall Jenner, and it's about her, in air quotes, her secret, because she came out and said that she had a secret. So I'm sure many of you who've been on social media have heard about this one, because this is not good. Shame on you, Kendall. Anyway, so over this past weekend, Kendall Jenner tweeted about a forthcoming announcement for her next to youngest daughter. So that was Kris Jenner, so Kendall's mom. Sorry, I apologize. That was Kris Jenner who tweeted about a forthcoming announcement for Kendall Jenner. So many Ks. Anyway, so what Kris wrote was, make sure to watch Kendall Jenner's Twitter on Sunday night to find out what I'm talking about, and be prepared to be moved. Be prepared to be moved. Okay, so she was setting it up. She also shared a video of Kendall teasing the said announcement. And the build-up for this, I am not saying she was building this up like she had some terrible birth announcement or death announcement or something. But when someone says something like that, prepare to be moved, that's pretty big. So I'm not surprised that people were, excited, especially because she has so many fans and has such a large social media presence that, yeah, of course people were excited about what was coming out. They wanted to know. So continuing, Kris wrote, I'm so proud of my darling I'm so proud of my darling Kendall Jenner for being so brave and vulnerable. Seeing you share her most raw story in order to make a positive impact. Okay. For so many people, and help foster a positive dialogue and a testament to the incredible woman you've become. Those are very kind words. So what was the secret? What was this big story that was coming out? Well, it was about Kendall saying that she had suffered from acne, but now she doesn't because of Proactive. So yes, it was an ad. The big secret was that Kendall is now going to be an ambassador for Proactive. Which, let me just say, I'm going to break my own big story and be really honest with all of you. I also use Proactive, mostly because the company has made my skin addicted to Proactive and I cannot leave, and they will take all of my money for the rest of my life, because as soon as I stop using it, all of my acne will come raging back. But I'm not out there saying this is my big, deep story. If I was, then wow, I just shared something really deep with all of you. But needless to say, this announcement did not sit well with many of Kendall's fans. Many of her felt a little duped. They had been led by this, and yeah, I understand why. Because even just reading about this, I did not see the original announcement when it came on social media. Even just reading about this, Kris really built it up. She talked about how proud she was of her daughter for being so vulnerable. And I don't think it's I feel like the only time that this kind of announcement would actually be super vulnerable is to admit that you have acne when, I don't know, I feel like when you're in a world where it's very hard to say that you're not perfect. So I guess I could see the Jenners, like Kendall and Kylie, kind of living in that type of world, especially being in like makeup brands and in fashion, being a model. I could see how for Kendall, having acne and being able to say that to a lot of people can be really difficult when she feels pressure that she has to look perfect all the time. I guess I could see that, so maybe I'm being a little rough on her, but man, Kris really built that up. Some Twitter users, again, were upset. One of the comments was, Kendall Jenner gets $3,000 facials wearing head-to-toe Balenciaga in between shoots for Vogue. I promise you she's not using Proactive. And then another one said, wait, Kendall Jenner's big announcement is that she's collaborating with Proactive? LMFAO. Yeah. Also, the timing of her announcement, which was on a Sunday night, was set to coincide with the Golden Globes. And Kendall shared a story about dealing with acne on the red carpet at last year's show. So obviously, this is a giant advertising ploy. I think that's pulling a dirty one on your fans. I mean, people expect something really honest. And again, I could see where for Kendall, this is something that's extremely honest and something that's really vulnerable to admit that she's not perfect. But in my opinion, that speaks more about her insecurities. And not everyone has those insecurities. So to build that up to be huge, that's not something that everyone will feel as a giant problem. I also feel that it's weird that Kris built it up so much for her daughter. She's so proud of her for being so brave and vulnerable and seeing her most raw story in order to make a positive impact for so many people. I don't know if that's Kendall. I mean, maybe that is Kendall's most raw story. I don't know. We could have just actually seen her most raw story, besides the Pepsi ad debacle. Maybe this is her most raw and now we're all just making fun of her, potentially. I'm sorry if that's the case, Kendall. But yeah, I don't know. That was really some big social media duping. Anyway, I guess Kendall will be getting my money now because I'm still going to be buying Proactive. All right, we're going to take a break and then we'll be right back and keep talking about some more social media news.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome back to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast. We are continuing to talk about some social media news. We have mentioned Kendall Jenner, so now that we've gotten our Kardashian fix out of the way, we can move on to the next story. This also has to do with Twitter, as I advertised many Twitter things would be coming up. And this one is about the lies that people have told. Which was interesting because what good is social media if not to share all of your deepest, darkest secrets? All right. So the Twitter user Nicole Cliff shared a lie she told for personal gain on Twitter. And then she asked her followers to do the same. So you're just opening a giant can of worms, really. What she said: when I moved in with Steve 3 months ago into our relationship, it's because I lied and said I was getting evicted and needed a place to live, when in fact, I just wanted to move in. And then said, okay, please tell me about your over-the-top lies for personal gain. Also, I am assuming she's told him this by now because clearly he's gonna see this. Also, but I will say people shared some very embarrassing lies, so maybe they're not concerned about people reading it. And people have said oh, I have not told this person this yet. Well, I hope they don't have a Twitter, or their friends don't have a Twitter, or their parents don't have a Twitter, because they will find out now. Also, she followed up her first tweet, her first lie, with a second big lie. And that was, my second big lie was once in college, I didn't want to go to class because it overlapped with lunch. So I skipped it and told my professor I had been at an anti-war rally and it went long. And he clasped my shoulders and said, I don't know how any of you had the strength to attend class at all. Okay. Well, I mean, when you want lunch, you want lunch. You know, you don't want to get hangry. Anyway, people quickly got into the fun and shared a lot of their own lies, basically from childhood and beyond. And I was shocked. There are some crazy lies that all of you people out there have shared. This one was pretty interesting. This really took advantage of the situation. So, this is a quote. This is from Rose. Anyway, her tweet goes, one of my law school professors was a notorious drunk, and he called on me one day when I was totally unprepared, and he was visibly drunk. I dead stared at him for a minute and then nodded and said, and that's it. And he thought I had answered, said, yes, excellent, and carried on. Man, he was really drunk. Also, like, notoriously drunk. Your professor is notoriously drunk. What school is that? What law school is that? Also, it's a law school. Don't you all know that's, I don't know. Is that against the law? I mean, I guess not if they're all law students and he's a law professor. But man, you have to be really drunk for that. The things people do while drunk always astonishes me. I really like the next one. This is another tweet. My husband and I told our kids Barney died so we wouldn't have to watch it anymore. I am surprised my parents did not do that. Okay, personal story. I used to love Barney. And when I went to kindergarten for the first time, like the first week of kindergarten, I brought my Barney stuffed animal with me every day. And then one day, my teachers sent me home with a note to my parents. And the note said that, it said, Heidi has to stop bringing her toy to school every day so that she'll meet real friends. So I had to, my parents made me shelve the Barney doll and actually talk to people. It did work, though. One of my still really good friends and I met in kindergarten. So they knew what they were talking about. But man, I loved that Barney. I probably told him all of my secrets. I don't need to tweet them anymore. I've already told Barney. So I can get that off my chest. I don't need Twitter to know that I've said terrible lies. Anyway... Another tweet that I really like. Sometimes I make a reservation for 2 at a nice restaurant and then pretend to get stood up. It's usually good enough for a free wine or app. Man, and I thought my Barney secret was bad. These are pretty funny. Good job, Internet. I'm enjoying this. Another one said, I lied about how many people I expected to show for my birthday dinner to Buca di Beppo, which is a fancy kind of Italian-American restaurant. It's kind of fancy. It's kitschy. And then she continues, so that I could reserve the Pope room. Yeah, that's kitschy. They have a Pope room. I bought a Pope hat and wore my goth club gear, and my friends were all freaky nuns, cardinals, etc. Best idea I've ever had. That's pretty awesome. Also, how many people do you have to reserve the Pope room? Also, what is the Pope room? I guess I'll have to go. I'll have to lie about how many people are my reservation and then go. Another one's pretty good. In college, I legally married and then peacefully divorced a platonic friend, so we qualified to live off campus. Wow. What school did you go to that didn't let you live off campus like that? Huh. Interesting. That's pretty good. Let's see. What is another one? Okay, this one's pretty good. I accidentally in quotes, texted my ex-boyfriend to reply to a date with another guy. The date, nor the other guy, existed. But the ploy worked. We've been married 12 years now, and he doesn't need to know about my lie that saved his life. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I hope he doesn't have a Twitter. I assume he doesn't, but you go, girl. Obviously, you saved his life with a really tricky lie. Wow, that's pretty good. I wonder if that would work. I mean, I guess it did. Worked for her. All right, so this is another one. This person, KT Nelson, said, this isn't me, but a friend in college was in an accident and got amnesia, and then for real. And a girl he had hooked up with once showed up at the hospital and told him they were in a serious relationship and they're married now. I think about that a lot. Wow, that is impressive. I am shocked that worked. Man, the things people share online that they would never tell in person. All right, let's see. Oh, here's one that I feel like a lot of people can connect to. Got tired of waiting for a job offer due to bureaucratic slowness. Told the hiring person I had an offer elsewhere and needed a decision. Got my desired offer the next day and later learned the starting salary was significantly higher due to concern I'd go to the other job. Man, I feel like a lot of people can connect to that. That's a lie, but it's a risky lie. You have to know they really want you for the position, but I don't think that's that uncommon of a lie. The amnesia one I have definitely never heard of before, but that's pretty funny. All right, here's another one that I like. I got a job at a summer camp. I was the outdoor/nature counselor because I said I had studied plants and wilderness survival. But I basically just made things up, including the names of all the plants we saw. So I feel like there are adults now who call everything the wrong name. Yeah, probably. Anytime I see someone now who calls a plant the wrong name, I'm just going to assume they went to this guy's camp. This is Matthew Ingram. So, yeah, man, I'm going to assume that you were their counselor. All right. Ooh, this is a good one. This tweet goes, I dropped out of school in 9th grade. When it came time to apply for uni, the private school I applied to accepted homeschool transcripts. So my parents and I discussed arbitrary grades. I typed it up myself and my mom signed it. Now I have 2 degrees and I'm getting my master's. I don't know if I'm proud or concerned. What are you getting your master's degree in? Hopefully not. I don't know. I'm impressed because you clearly didn't need grades 9 through 12. But also, what are you getting your master's in? Or how good are you? I don't know. All right, here's another one. I stole money out of my siblings' piggy banks for years because I was mad that they were older than me. You were mad they were older than you? I don't have siblings, to be honest, so maybe I just don't get it. But anyway, you were mad they were older than you? Probably not now. You're probably now happy that you're younger than them. Anyway, she continues. Each time my mom noticed the piggy banks were low, she assumed she had forgotten allowance that week and redistributed it. Unrelated, I bought 4 American Girl dolls as a child. For those of you who don't know, American Girl dolls are very expensive. How much was your allowance? And you had to do that for many years to get 4 American Girl dolls. That is amazing. Did she have all the accessories? I don't know, because those are expensive too. Anyway, let's see. Oh, when I was in 5th grade, I didn't want to write a paper on the American Revolution, so I just didn't. When the teacher handed them back, I told her I didn't get mine, but definitely handed it in. She said she remembered reading it and just gave me a 90%. She said she remembered you handing it in? Man, you're lucky your teacher does not have a good memory. Although, haven't we all had some of those teachers in elementary through high school who just kind of don't remember things? I know I have. Oh, okay. This is one. I once claimed my dad was a very conservative minister who wouldn't let me date to get away from a baritone in high school chorus who wanted to date me because my skin was beautifully pale like a dead person. And then she said he wanted to be an undertaker. Oh my gosh. That's creepy. You say whatever you can at that point and get out because that is a weird reason to date someone. That is a really creepy fetish. Don't indulge that. I don't know if you would make it, you would come back in a coffin. Or that'd be the creepy date. You just go somewhere we're going to a mortuary for our date. Can you just sit in this coffin just for a little bit? We'll just take some pictures, It's super weird. It's super weird. All right. Here's another one. When I was 16, I faked a missions trip to Guatemala, paperwork and all, to my parents, who apparently were both pastors, so that I could go to a party in Panama City, Florida for spring break. Wow, that is impressive. Paperwork and all. That's pretty good. Man, I enjoyed this Twitter. There are still more tweets in response to this lie prompt. There are still more out there. I think they're very funny. I suggest that you look them up. Again, if you want to read them, the user who posted the original challenge was Nicole Cliff. She is at Nicole_Cliff, Cliff CLIFFE. So yeah, I think that this story is pretty funny. I enjoyed reading everyone's lie tweets. So, I mean, you guys are all pretty good liars. Or at least you just all were lucky. That's kind of what I'm going to assume here. I don't know if these are, just lies for personal gain. I also feel like that's different than just lying for someone else. You all lied for personal gain. Anyway, I enjoyed reading them. I didn't suffer at the hand of any of your lies that I know of. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and keep talking about some more social media news.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Social Media News Podcast. We are continuing to share some fun social media stories. Again, as I said, there's a lot of Twitter today. So we are coming back to another interesting Twitter post. This one, I guess like you could say I saw this in the wild. Like I wasn't just like looking for stories for the podcast. I just ran across it on my Instagram, and I really did laugh out loud when I saw this. It was very funny. And then after looking into it more, it just got better. Anyway, so this is about a woman's photo of her boyfriend's roommate's chicken. That sounds very strange, but let me clarify. There's a woman who took a photo, and it's like the inside of an oven, so you can see like chicken breasts cooking on a sheet pan inside the oven. And this chicken is triggering because there's like no seasoning on it. There's nothing on the chicken at all. And another thing that I want to point out that other Twitter users pointed out, there's not even like Pam on the pan to make it not stick. There's not parchment paper. There's no foil. There's not even, if you're like fancy and you have like one of those like silicone baking mats, there's not even that. It's just bare chicken breasts on a like sheet baking in the oven. People are really upset. And the photo comes from 28-year-old Corey from Baltimore. And her tweet, what her quote is, "Y'all want to get upset by the lack of seasoning on my boyfriend's roommate's chicken with me?" And man, did people ever get upset about this? One person just responded, "I am distraught." Distraught in all caps. And everyone else was distraught. Also, personally, I am very distraught because this is bad cooking, and I'm so sad for everyone in that household. The chicken belonged to Steve, who is the roommate. And this is Corey's explanation of the situation. She said, "We were all cooking food in the kitchen, and I opened the oven to check on food on the top rack and then saw the chicken. I immediately grabbed my phone, took a picture, looked at my boyfriend, and said, 'Want to see a viral tweet?' Knowing Twitter would have a field day with these unseasoned cutlets." Man, she knew what she had. She knew genius when she saw it. So good for her. She should be like a casting director or something, or like a social media, like communication strategist. Like she knows what's going to go viral. She was so right. A lot of people responded to her Twitter post. One person said, or I don't know if it's a Twitter post. I guess it's a tweet. One person tweeted back saying, "I can taste the sadness." Yeah, it looks sad. I'm very sad for her. Another one said, "Y'all might as well just cooked some water and threw it on a plate." Another person said, "I'm almost impressed that it looks both cooked and raw somehow." And it really does. You guys should really look this up. It does. It looks raw and uncooked all at the same time. Like, does my chicken always look like that underneath the seasoning? Like, that's not appetizing. Also, a lot of people came to the conclusion that Steve had to be white to be proudly serving up chicken like this, which, I don't know, as someone, I'm like half white, and I would say, I'm a good cook. My chicken is always seasoned. Anyway, someone's tweet response to this, related to the assumption that Steve was white, is that chicken's ringtone is Sweet Caroline. I found that one really funny. Also, Corey kind of confirmed a lot of people's suspicions, and she clarified that Steve, the roommate, she said he's half white, so people are, he said he's half white, so people are half right here. Yeah, so okay, half right. She also said that Steve is aware that the tweet went viral and is confident that the chicken was an isolated incident. Sure, Steve, sure. She said, "I'm sure he will throw some salt, pepper, and Pam down next time he makes some chicken." I hope so. I am really hoping that Steve's future chicken will no longer look like this. I hope that bird did not die. The bird that he cooked died in vain. I can hope that all the other ones will not. Vegans should be upset about this post because that chicken died in vain. That was just sad. It's a sad death, sad meal. Did Steve even really eat it? Like did he, this is my worst case scenario, is he just took it out of the oven and then just ate it, like maybe straight off the pan, and a lot of it probably stuck to the pan because there's no Pam on there. There's no like foil or anything. He probably just ate that, cut it right off the pan, and probably didn't even like dip it in ketchup or anything. Not even barbecue sauce. I just imagine he ate that straight up. So, Steve, I really hope that you've learned from Twitter that so many people on Twitter have told you were wrong, that you know for sure that you were wrong, and that you should never be allowed to cook chicken again. I don't ever want to see this again. So good luck. Also, I will say, there is some good chicken out there. A lot of people can cook really good chicken, even if you're white. If you're white, don't feel discouraged by this. I'm there with you. I believe you. You can make good chicken. And I just hope that all of you out there know to at least put some seasoning on. Salt, pepper, lemon pepper if you want to mix it up, but still be at the most basic level. Anyway, I hope that all of your chicken cutlets get cooked well and that you don't become a product of Twitter shame. And thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you can tune in to the next social media news episode.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Social Media Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.